I remember when I was young, my mother used to say, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮ ವಿಚಾರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. So that time, that word yogakshema didn't really mean anything for me. So it was just a word. But now I really know the deep meaning of that yogakshema. That yogakshema is nothing but well-being. That word is also have a definition of health in it. That is, the health is state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. The word yoga indicates that spiritual well-being. There is a connection of yoga there with that well-being. We heard so much about stress, brain, all that from two doctors. So, does the uncontrollable stress robs our well-being? Can we really have a stress-free life? The obvious answer for that first question is yes. The answer for the second question is no. We already know that stress is part of our life. All age group, irrespective of who we are, we all experience stress. We experience stress in many dimensions. The day we are born, our stress started. As soon as the baby is born, it cries out loud to draw that very first breath. That is stress. You can call it positive stress. That is stress. That's where stress started. I have experienced stress in many ways in my life. I am experiencing stress and I will experience stress. I think it is same with each and every one of us. Let me share the story how I found a means to manage my stress. I practice and teach BK's Iyengar Yoga. BK's Iyengar, fondly called Guruji. Guruji taught sage Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. About 2,500 years ago, sage Patanjali systematized and codified yoga and described Ashtanga Yoga in his Yoga Darshana. Ashta means 8, Anga means parts, Ashtanga Yoga. So if you pull one part of the body, the whole body comes with that. The same way, if you start with one limb of Ashtanga Yoga, all the other 7 limbs comes with that. That's why it's called Ashtanga Yoga, Angas. What are those 8 steps? Yama, universal discipline. Niyama, self-discipline. Asana, that is posture. Pranayama, breath control. Pratyahara, that is sense control. Dharana, concentration. Dhyana, meditation. And samadhi, that is superconscious state. Yoga means it is not just asanas. All the 8 limbs comprise yoga. The word yoga has different connotation in different scriptures and contexts. But here Patanjali said, yoga means samadhi. Yoga has 2 root words in Sanskrit. One is yuj, another one is yujir. Yuj means samadhi. Yujir means union, unite, yoke, all that. But here, Patanjali said yuj, that means samadhi. Patanjali said, Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. That means, yoga means it is the cessation of the modification of the chitta. So unfortunately, there is no equivalent word for chitta in English because chitta is comprised of three components. One is mind or manas. Second one is I consciousness or ahankara. Third one, intellect or buddhi. So removing or restraining of all the modification from this chitta, this mind stuff, is called yoga or samadhi. So in Iyengar Yoga, we start with the asana stage. After establishing in asana practice, then we start pranayama practice. Asana practice is based on three principles. What are those three principles? The first one is precision and alignment. Second one, timing. And the third one is sequencing. What is precision and alignment? A precise anatomical alignment of the body is attained and maintained in the asana. And the final goal of this all alignment is to bring proper alignment in the spine and the proper positioning of the spine in the asana. So that facilitate the proper flow of breath while you're in the asana. So asana is all for the spine, by the spine, to the spine, with the spine. It's all about spine, asana. So coming to the second element. The second element is timing. Once we are in the asana, once we move into the asana, we're going to stay there for a certain duration of time to allow the effect of the asana to penetrate deeper within the practitioner or within us. So it's a very important stage. Every asana changes the pattern of breathing, and our breathing affects the asana. Asana is not just a mere physical fitness exercise. Guruji said, asana involves thought process, at the end of which a balance is achieved between movement and resistance. Here movement is motion, motion brings change. The resistance is action, action brings challenge. So here, body, mind, intellect, all have to work together, bring balance between motion and action. There is a tandem work here. The body and mind works in tandem. And also when you do asana practice, once again, body and breath work in tandem. So our mental state, we already know from the other two talks, that our mental states and emotions are expressed through our body. When we are happy, our body blooms like a flower. When we are sad, our body looks like a crumpled, wet cloth. Asanas actually adjust our body and brings that proper flow of breath in our body and changes the mindset. Asanas trains the mind to accept the changes and to adapt, adjust and adapt. Asanas trains our mind through breath to face the challenges. That's what happens in an asana. It is not mere physical fitness exercise. So coming to the third element is sequencing. We always practice a mindful sequence of asanas It is not some random asanas put together and practice the same. Every day you practice the same asanas. That is not how it goes, asana practice. Sequencing of the asana has a powerful and desirable effect on our body and mind. Sequencing of the asana is an art and science. Why do we have to practice different sequences? Actually, the sequencing of asana depends on many factors. It is the purpose of the practice, age of the practitioner, condition of the practitioner, the weather condition, and so on and so on. It is really a science behind. Why do we have to practice all that like this? It is all about our nervous system. It has a profound effect on our nervous system. It is all bringing balance in our nervous system. That's why you have to practice that mindful sequencing of postures. The mindful practicing of these asanas allowed me to understand the connection between body, breath, and mind. I would like to say this. Author Swatma Rama in Hatha Yoga Pradipika said that if the breath wavers, mind wavers. When the breath is restrained, mind becomes steady. So breath and our mind are that closely related, are that closely associated. In other words, our breathing affects our nervous system. So when we are going through anxiety or going through depression, our breath is the one which has a different pattern. So in asanas, we do that. By doing the asana, you modulate or change that breathing pattern. That's how it has that effect on our mindset. So at this point, I would like to give one message to all that younger generation there. Yoga is not an esoteric system. Yoga is not just for old people or sick people. Yoga is for all. Whoever you are, it's for all. Yoga, actually, it's all about knowing ourselves. Yoga is an art, science, and philosophy. Yoga brings us that experiential and subjective knowledge about ourselves. If we know ourselves better, definitely we can manage our stress better. If we manage our stress better, it reflects on our wellness. Our wellness enhances our well-being. That is our yogakshema. So you all probably agree that yoga way, yogakshema ke mooladhara.